Hi, so I wanted to talk to you about AppScript, which is a very powerful tool inside Google Sheets, right? So let me walk you through how to set it up, how to use it, and some of the points to keep in mind, um, so that you don't really um, face any issues down the line. Okay, so let's get started. So I got Google Gemini to just give me a very basic script. Um, It creates a new file, names it, and sets up your first two columns automatically, right? So this is the code, and it is a JavaScript. So don't worry about the what it says and what it means and all of the programming and the coding and all of that. It is honestly not as scary as it looks, and especially once you start using it a few times, it becomes very clear. Now the one thing with um, using AppScript is that when you get an AI tool to generate the script for you, it can also tell you what each segment of that formula does. So, the first one is it says create storefront, and then it says to add headers, style the headers. So, as you see the script, you can see what it does. And then all of the content in green, it is actually, um, um, you know, things that get added, things like product name, price, my digital storefront, and all of that. Um, so it's created from scratch, and sometimes if it needs some content for you to fill, it will also, have um, the text there saying add your sheet ID here or add your folder ID here, right? So again, Google Gemini or any chat or any AI tool that you use will be able to walk you through the steps to retrieve your ID, etc. So let's go into, let's copy this. The first thing you do when you get an app script is open up a spreadsheet. Right now, this is unavoidable because the script runs inside a spreadsheet. So it's not an AI tool. It is just a formula. It's a script that runs inside inside Google Sheets, that performs a whole lot of functions on Google Sheets that you'd otherwise have to do manually, right? So you can see that there is a button called extensions here, and that's what we're going to use. Um, and there is what we call apps script, right? So this is where you would be doing all the work, and we're waiting for that to load. Um, yes, so I'm currently signed in, etc. If you need to change your account, it gives you an option, but I'm okay with this. This is the account I want. Um, So what you're doing is you select everything in this. You see all of these tabs here. There's code, there's libraries, there's services, and there's a few more buttons here. You can ignore everything. You don't need any of that. What you're going to do is come into this code, select everything, delete the whole lot, and simply paste what you already have from your AI tool or the script that you have, whether you've written it yourself or whether you've got it from somewhere else, if you purchased it from me or if you got it through one of um, um, my AI tools. So this is where you would place the app script, right? You can name it. It you can leave it as untitled project, but I always like to name it so that I know what the script does. So I'm going to just call it demo app script, right? So because this also gets saved inside your Google Drive, and um, if you're ever looking at Google Drive and wondering what the script does and do I need to keep it and or do I want to delete it or something, having a name for it makes it a lot easier, so you know where it is and what it does and whether you need to keep it later, right? So this is unsaved changes. So we're going to just save the project to Drive using this floppy disk icon here, right? So it saved it, and now all you need to do is run. Okay, so we're clicking run here. It says execution log. The first thing, and you will get this every time you run a new app script, you will get an authorization required message. You can go ahead and safely authorize it, because this is not really sending content anywhere. It's not really working with any other tools online or anything. It's just working on your system with your Google Sheet, right? Um, so I'm saying go to Google, go to demo app script. It's fine. And then it says, these are all the things it will be able to do, which is fine. Again, because I'm not sending data out, I'm not sending data in. It's not going to be searching the web or anything. And it says execution started, execution completed, and that's it, right? So it's created a completely new sheet. I'm going to check. It's not here. So, okay. There it is. When it gave me this sheet. I copied the link and I pasted it and I got it right here. It's called My Digital Storefront. It's got 3 columns. That's product name, price, and stock status. So it's very basic. So Mr. Shivery, that is the AI, that is the Google Sheet generator that I use, can create app scripts that can give you, all of the tabs that you need, the exact structure that you need, all of the conditional formatting, and the colors, the fonts. It can the formulas. It can kind of the charts. It can do everything that you would do manually. It can do most of that work inside your sheet for you, right? So this is how you use AppScript. Now, I think when I set it up, I should have said that I already have a spreadsheet. I just want to convert that to a digital storefront, and it should have given me this sheet right in the entitled spreadsheet. But that's okay. It still created a new sheet for me that has the information. The other things you can do with AppScript is you can have it generate a little button that sits here, and you can just click on that. So if you're doing something like extract information from your Google Mail, from your Gmail every few days or something, and you just want to go click a button and get all the information out, you don't want to be running it yourself, or you don't want it to be running by default, uh, you can set that up. You can have a button here that you just click and it runs, or you can set it up to run every 24 hours or every 48 hours or something like that. You can trigger it through an email or through buttons in the sheet or in the tab, um, where it does certain functions based on the actions that you take, right? Or on the time that you give it. And again, it can do a whole lot more, but these are some of the most basic things that you can get AppScript to do for you. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind while you use AppScript. Um, the tools that I'm creating, they help you to create a spreadsheet, they help you to format a spreadsheet, and they give you dummy data for a spreadsheet. So all of that works on blank spreadsheets, and that's great, and that's how I prefer to use them. If you're running AppScript on a sheet that already has content, um, make a copy, just create a backup, make a copy for yourself, so that if by any chance you end up deleting some of your content, or if your app script kind of changes the structure entirely or the format entirely, or breaks some of the formulas, you have the backup ready and you don't have to worry about it. So because this runs in like seconds, in a few seconds you get everything you want, and you don't get a chance to, or you can ask it to check, but most of the time it's just going to be done before you even know it. And so, if you're running AppScript on a Google Sheet that already has content, um, make sure that um, you create a copy and a backup before you um, use AppScript. Another thing that you can always do is to have a few test columns, especially when you're using it with live data. And even if you have a backup, have a few test things, you know in your mind what you're going to be testing for. So for me, since this was a demo, it was pretty straightforward. But if you're creating a structure, or if you're creating a spreadsheet that has a clear structure, or that you want certain data data for, you want to make sure that um, it has, done what you wanted to do. So make a quick note of 3 or 4 things that you want to test for, so that, or if you want to make sure that the formulas are working, if you want to make sure that the numbers are correct, or um, the columns are how you want them to be, the charts are how you want them to be. So just make a quick checklist of 3 or 4 things that you want to test for, so that um, you don't just start using this sheet and you have a lot of content in it, and then you realize, oh my god, this is not what I wanted. What I wanted was something else, and then you're kind of stuck having to clean up that sheet. And yes, AppScript can clean up, but better to kind of set it up from the start, right? And you can also ask if you face any errors. Sometimes if you're asking your AppScript to run a huge program, it can kind of run out of time, or it can give you other error messages. You can simply paste the error back to Google or to any AI tool and say, okay, this is a error I'm getting. Can you help me fix it? Right? Or sometimes it runs, but it does not actually do the job. So it might give you a blank sheet and say that this is completed. And you can say that, look, this is what I'm getting. It says it's completed, but it's actually a blank sheet, or it didn't do what it was supposed to do. So you can get your AI tools to troubleshoot as well in case it doesn't work um, the way you want it to work. But yes, the key points to keep in mind: always, go to extensions, click on AppScript, and then run it. Um, if you want to edit it, sometimes your AI tools give you, additional blocks to add to it. Um, I always say just give me the full script, because I don't want to be keeping bits and bobs, and then they kind of clash with each other and they create more conflict and issues down the line, right? So if you want to edit it, it's easier to just kind of delete the whole thing and get a new script and put that in here. And of course, you need to give it access to your sheets or to your Google Drive, um, or whatever permissions it asks for, depending on what you're making it do. Sometimes it asks for Gmail. If you're extracting information from Gmail, it asks for Google Docs, Google Drive, Google Sheets, sometimes the web, depending on what you are asking to do, right? So that's what it is. Pretty straightforward. You don't need to use any of these buttons. Um, you don't need to do anything else except save the project and run it, and always name it, right? So I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.